Hello guys, I am DM Developer and welcome to the sixth part of our CSS tutorial. Today I will be first making a correction in I made an error in the previous video, and I will be making a correction to a part, the last part of the text edition properties I was talking about. And after that, we will talk a little bit about shadow effects. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. So as I said, I will be mentioning you what I said wrong in the last video, and that was this value of boulder for this font weight property. And well, I just told you that boulder would give a bolder font, bolder than this bold value, but in fact that's not it. The bolder value, what it will do is it will go to the parent of the LM2 element, and it will see its font weight, and then it will give a bolder font weight to the LM2, so to the LM2. So yeah, that's what it will happen. It will have a bolder font weight than its parent element, and the same happens to the lighter to the lighter value. It will give a lighter value than what a lighter value to the font weight of the parent element. And after that, I think I need to take this out, yeah, and get the normal text. And here in font weight, I can also give it numbers. For example, 400, and that will be the normal. But then if I add 600, it will be bolder, and I think I can go up to 900. Yeah, no, well, some fonts let you go up to 900. Other ones just let you go till 600 or 300. Well, you in Google Fonts, it will tell you to what font weight can you go, giving this property to the element with this font. So yeah, that's it. So let's now keep moving on, now on the columns for text. So let me go here to our LM2, and let me just add a few more lines to our element, like so. And yeah, let's go here to style. Let's take out the font weight, and okay. So here, yeah, we can in the LM2 selection, we can count the columns, and normally there will be only one column, as you see. But now, if in column 2 you write 2, you will see that now you'll have 2 columns. Well, this whenever you want a paragraph or a text inside a section or a div to be in 2 columns instead of creating 2 different elements, you can just do this with a column count property. So after that, you can also change the column gap. And here in the column gap, you can just give it a length. So for example, let's choose 20 pixels. And if we reload it, there we have it, a bigger gap. And we can go, well, to the gap we want, and even choose 80 pixels, and you'll see now even better our gap. So after that, with a property that is pretty much alike the border, you can choose the column rule style, and here choose solid, then go to column rule width, and here you can choose 1 pixel, then column rule color, and here you can, for example, choose red as our border. And yeah, if you reload it, now here you have it, our rule that is making the separation, the division between one column and the other column. So because I said it is like border, you can also do the as in border and define all these values in just one go, in just one line. So solid red, let's now give it 3 pixels, so you see that it changed, and there we have it. It is now with 3 pixels, and you can define everything in just one line. So after this, you can also learn another way to calculate this number of columns, and that is we delete this, and then there are no columns, and after that we came here to write column width, and here we can, for example, choose 50 pixels for our column width, and now you will see that there will be a lot of columns, each with 50 pixels of width till the text is all written. So if we make a smaller column gap, and now if we come here and give a bigger column width, you'll see that it will appear more normal. So yeah, you can just define the width of a column, and with that width your browser will fit as many columns as it can in the according to the width of your viewport, or to the width of your division, your section, or your container, and it will write all the text within those 4 or those n columns, and that will be it for the columns in text edition. So moving on, we will now be talking about shadow and text effects, and for that I will delete this paragraph, and now reload it, and there we have it. And after that I will give here a div, for example, with an h1 tag, and here I'll write yet again, this is some text. If I reload it, here we have it, but yeah, we now don't have lm2, and here in our div, well, we just have one div, so I can select it as div and say the color to be the background color, sorry, background color to white. Now we will see our heading, and inside div I will select our h1 tag, our heading 1 tag, and just confirm yes, and here I'll say the color, I'll set the color to black, and here we have our h1. So this text shadow property isn't supported by Internet Edge, but I want to show it anyways, so here I'll give it the text shadow, and inside text shadow we have a few values for a few properties we need to give to this property. So the first thing here in this property is the horizontal shadow. So the offset of the shadow horizontally. So here we can choose, for example, not 10 but 5 pixels. After that, the V shadow, that stands for vertical shadow, and that can be yet again 5 pixels. After that is the blur radius, that for now can be 0 pixels. And after that we'll be choosing the color, and that color can be blue. So let's reload it, and here we have it. So as I said, the first one is for the horizontal shadow, and you'll see that it will go even to the right even more to the right horizontally, and vertically as well, even getting out of our div element. So yeah, and after that, well, let's just give it a little more height, for example 10 rem, like so. And yeah, now you can see our shadow better. And here you can choose the blur radius to further blur or have a lesser blur to this shadow. So for example, if you choose 5 pixels, it will be quite blurry. If you choose, for example, 2 pixels, you'll see that it will be a lot more smooth blur. So that's it for the text shadow. We don't I want to be talking anymore about this, because as I said, it isn't supported by the Internet Edge browser. So after that we have the box shadow, that is very similar to the text shadow, but now for a div or for a container. So here we have box shadow, and the box shadow, yes, it is supported by all the browsers. So it's quite alike. You first choose the horizontal offset, so I'll be choosing again, well, 5 pixels. After that, the vertical shadow, the vertical offset of the shadow, and that will also be 5 pixels. After that, we choose the blur, and that can be 2 pixels. After that, we choose the spread, and that is something we haven't talked about in the previous shadow. So here, let's choose, for example, 5 pixels, and then you choose yet again the color, but now I'll give it a brighter color, so you can see it in the green background. So now, well, you don't see it very well. Let me just add a width to our div here. So let's choose, for example, 15 rem, like so. And now you'll see, let's just add a little more so it doesn't go under the other one. So yeah, here you see that the shadow is all around here, and I will be further telling you how this property works. So now in red, where you can really see it better. So the spread, if you give a smaller spread, you'll see that our shadow will become more restrict to the first values you give to this property. So the spread just spreads more the shadow along the first properties you gave to this property. So here, let's have, for example, a bigger shadow, or a bigger offset in our shadow, and well, you already know how the blur works. And now, if you incrementally get a bigger spread to our image, to our shadow, you'll see that it will spread and spread and spread around our first values, like so. Well, that's it for box shadow. This really isn't the way that nowadays you give a shadow to a container. It usually works more like this. and here have a very small radius for the blur, and here have something like 4 pixels in each one, and like so. Well, here you don't see it very well, but this is the way that normally we give the box shadows to, for example, images. So you can pay more attention to the images in a HTML page. You put this shadow around the image, and you'll see that you can reach really nice and rich effects with this property. So that will be it for shadows. So that will be it for this video. I hope you understood everything well, and if this video helped you, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And well, I'm really sorry I did that mistake. I've been a bit tired in the last days, but the next videos will get better again. So that will be it from me. Have a good one.